for the ride home in ENC.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
This is your 5 o'clock drive with Patrick Johnson.
Holy mackerel!
More news, more interviews, more ECU stories than you can shake a stick at. Hey, stop shaking that stick. This is the Patrick Johnson Show.
Pirates win! Pirates win!
On 94.3 The Game.
All right, hello again, everybody, and welcome into the Patrick Johnson Show. No, my God, we're going to talk about that. Try not to go to a grocery store because if you're waiting at this point with all the panic buying and the Real Housewives of Pitt County, you're in major, major, major trouble from what I understand. We say hello to Philip the Ref Pilkington, and a lot of news to jump into here on the program today. Pilk, let me ask you something here. Do you know your birthdays? Do you know your history and your birthdays?
I know my birthday.
When is your birthday?
Well, why are we talking about my birthday? It's July 22nd.
But I mean, July 22nd. Okay, well, we're usually on hiatus. That's why I don't know it. Mine is in early May, and nobody ever celebrates it, but that's fine. I'm not interested in gifts. Take care of yourself. But we have some very special birthdays today. They include friend of the show, my broadcast colleague, the great Mike Mullis. He has a birthday today. Trent McGee on sports, loyal many-year IBX employee, IBX media employee, and loyal listener to the Patrick Johnson Show. Are you familiar with Heather King, or is that before your time?
Yeah, I know
Heather
the first
King
two. I don't know
used to be on
Heather's.
WITN, and she would come in and do the news in the mornings on Talk of the Town occasionally. Also celebrating a birthday today. And it would have been Wolfman Jack's birthday today.
Great DJ.
I'm glad the Big Hen did not remember that this morning, because we would have heard his story about going to see Wolfman Jack's grave for the upteenth time. I didn't know it at the time. I didn't bring it up. I had to bring up these other birthdays. But a couple of sports birthdays, if you will, in there. You ready for the top five? We got a lot to get to. Also, we got a great guest. We have an attorney, Raleigh, who's going to be on with us because Pilk needs representation. No, we need to have we have the attorney on today because he has insights into this lawsuit, Duke and Mensa, the quarterback who entered the portal at the 11th hour to go to Miami, and the lawsuit. So we're going to get all of his insight into what's going on in the very latest. And I think he's on the Duke campus when we're talking to him here in about 20 minutes. All right, let's do the top five.
This may very well be our last mission. Let's make it count.
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
It's impossible.
Now some stories you may have heard or catch it for the first time. This is your 5 at 5 with the P-Man.
Number one.
Usually when we have weather that is concerning, we go to our friend David Sawyer from Storm Team 9. David Sawyer's out of the country on a mission trip. What a guy. What a human. So, not to encroach on the talk of the town space, but we have the National Weather Service in Newport and meteorologist Morgan Sims, because weather is our top story today. Hello, Morgan. Thank you. Welcome to the Patrick Johnson Show. How are you?
Good evening, Patrick. I'm doing well. Hope you're doing the same.
Yes, sir. Glad you're with us here. All right, we're in Greenville, Pitt County. Our signal on this station swaths from the Wilson area up to Tarboro, over towards Farmville, Greenville, of course, Williamston, and up into the Beaufort County area, and a little beyond all that, but that kind of gives you an idea. What are we looking? What's the latest with this giant winter storm that is making its way towards the Carolinas?
Well, giant is the right way to put it. The winter storm we're looking at right now, and this is going to be covering a big part of the country, all the way from Texas up into the Mid-Atlantic, even parts of southern New England. Here in eastern North Carolina, the risk we're looking at right now, the greatest risk for eastern North Carolina we're looking at right now is the threat of freezing rain and ice accumulations. There's still a risk of some snow on the horizon, although that threat has been decreasing as we've been getting more and more information from our models. The snow threat right now, right around maybe moderately impacting snow, about 10 to 20% chance of that along and north of Highway 264. But like I said, ice accumulations, the greatest impact of that for moderate impacts would be along and west of Highway 17, increasing as you go out towards I-95.
I got you. So that area between 17 and 95 is sort of in an ice bullseye. Now, when you say ice, is this freezing rain type of ice? Could it be sleet, which we know doesn't stick on power lines, bounces off? What is the thinking right now from National Weather Service?
The primary thinking right now, the freezing rain, it would be freezing rain resulting in ice accumulations. Now, there's still a lot of moving parts to the forecast, so the exact amounts are still up in the air. But when it comes to freezing rain, it really doesn't take much to start making an impact. Even just small accumulations, we're talking a couple hundredths of an inch, can really cause problems on the roads for motorists and pedestrians, especially so on any bridges or overpasses, since those are going to be the first to freeze in an event like this. If things were to, the forecast was to trend towards a more robust ice storm, we're talking amounts over a tenth. That's the type of ice that could cause trouble with bringing down tree branches or power lines. Those are the ice storms that where we could be looking at potential power outages due to the weight of the ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Morgan. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, the snow and sleet, as you alluded to, there is still some risk of that. Again, that's going to be more to north of 264, and that could also cause some travel interruptions as well, but not to the level of disruption that the ice would.
Yeah. We're talking to Morgan Sims, National Weather Service in Newport, with us here. Big winter storm heading our way. Morgan, I understand as well the timing of this is shifted a little. It's maybe not going to come in quite as early, possibly Saturday as was originally being forecasted, maybe a little later in the day Saturday, and obviously it's a full Sunday event.
Yes, the timing on this is we're still looking at as early as Saturday morning and extending into Sunday. That is specifically talking about the precipitation risk, but there is additional risk beyond that because we're going to have some really cold air flooding into the area behind the system, and we could be looking at multiple days, especially up around Greenville as we look into next week with multiple nights with low temperatures down in the mid to upper 10s. So even once the precipitation is done falling, we'll be contending with a very cold air mass for a good chunk of next week.
Let's when you say 17 highway on east, maybe towards the beaches and that kind of thing, is it more of a rain situation at this point, a cold rain for I guess places like Carteret County and even down into Onslow County, Surf City?
Yes, the forecast would have little to little to no accumulation of freezing rain, probably more of a rain situation down for Carteret County, maybe coastal portions of Onslow County, and then the most of the outer banks. The snow and sleet risk, there's a small one, probably around 10% or so for areas along the Albemarle Sound. We're talking Hyde, Mainland, Dare, and Tyrrell counties.
Gotcha. Okay, Morgan Sims, great stuff. National Weather Service in Newport. We know you guys are going to be very busy and continue to be busy. And even now, I mean, things can change. There's a lot of moving parts with this. Never easy to forecast winter weather in North Carolina. So thank you, Morgan, very much. We really appreciate your time.
Appreciate it, Patrick. Thank you.
All right, there he goes, Morgan Sims. All right, Pilk. Any reaction to that, Pilk? Are you a little more concerned now that you've heard what Morgan has to say?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. I was hoping for more snow, man. And they kept saying snow.
This is going to be, well, this just tells you in 24 hours, a lot has changed. And
maybe 24 hours, more stuff will change. I mean, I don't have to have any of it, but I'm just hoping
I would
it's
prefer
neither.
none of it, but that's the case. All right, we continue our top 5 at 5 here on the Patrick Johnson Show.
Number 2.
Number 2, last night, women's basketball got a huge win at UTSA to improve to 6-1 in league play, 14-6 overall, and they will be in action on Saturday when they travel down to UAB.
Congratulations to Coach Kim. A little bit of an adjustment here of what's going on. We understand that the men's basketball game, of course, the men are playing basketball tonight. We're going to talk about that. But it appears that, and this was confirmed too with like some internal memos with our company, that the basketball game that was going to be played in Denton, Texas on Saturday evening has been moved up to Friday. So the men's basketball team, after their game tonight at Wichita State, is going to stay, as I understand it, out on the road. They're just going to go to Denton tomorrow, and we'll be there for a day and get ready, play that game. Am I right to say 1 Eastern, Pilk, on Friday? And then
That's what I'm being told.
Right, 1 Eastern, and then we'll come back after the game. So they theoretically will be able to get back, hopefully safely, that evening. So as a result of that, I've got television obligations in the Triangle on Friday, and they're a little earlier than they normally are. So Pilk will host the show. He'll have Coach Kim on Friday, and that'll be an exciting thing because we'll have her, and we'll be able to talk to her about the way their team's playing right now. They won 10 of 11. That was a big win on the road last night for Coach Kim's Pirates, and we're Coach Kim fans, so we're glad that she was on there. Anything to add to that? Rimbert, by the way, 21 big ones for Rimbert last night.
Yeah.
Who, when she scores a lot of points. So that's a good thing.
3.
Alrighty, number 3, men's basketball will be in action tonight, 7 o'clock airtime, 7:30 tip out in Wichita. Earlier this week, when speaking to the media, Coach Mike Schwartz gave a scouting report on the Shakas.
Really tough game for us headed on the road to play Wichita State. They're coming off a great win on the road at South Florida. And so we know what kind of environment we're going into Wednesday night. A team that's extremely talented, great size, shoots the ball and rebounds the ball. So we got our work cut out for us.
The good news is, and this is what I'll say about Mike Schwartz, they're having a bad year. Let's not sugarcoat this. But in the 4 years he is here, he has built some continuity within the program. You will have bad years or down years within the context of the program. Is the program better off than it was when he took over 4 years ago? I could argue that it very much is. This is a program in Wichita State that has been to a Final Four, that has won a lot of championships in basketball, which is their primary sport. And ECU has beaten them all but one time in the meetings that have taken place with Mike Schwartz as the coach. Now, does that mean anything tonight? No. But they're still playing hard. And it seems like they've had times in the past where they've gone to Wichita and played well in that building. And yeah. I would hope that will be the case tonight. We'll see, though. Wichita State has got a nice roster. They can shoot the three at a high percentage, and they get after it on the backboards.
They do. So, we'll see.
You got to make shots, too. All right.
4.
Number 4,
I think this one deserves this.
Everyone, a little breaking news for you.
Yep, breaking news. East Carolina has landed a new quarterback. Emory Williams, who is most recently Carson Beck's backup at Miami, has officially signed today with the East Carolina Pirates. There will be 4 quarterbacks on the roster next year.
I think this is a sigh of relief, given the Mensa thing. And we're going to have a guest on about that next with the lawsuit with Duke and that sort of thing. But to me, this is a sigh of relief for ECU. You've got your guy. It's happening. And I don't think the kid would have gone to Miami anyway, or returned to Miami, or stayed with Miami, probably is the way to put it. I don't think so. Because he's been Cam Ward over him. Okay, you can understand that. Cam Ward's a top pick in the draft. Carson Beck over him? Okay, well, Carson Beck's been around a minute. All right, maybe, but then they go and get Mensa. So, I mean, he's not going to get a chance there. 4-star recruit or not, he's not going to get a chance in Miami.
Yep.
So come here, and even if you do what Caton Hauser did, prove that you can play, and if you increase your odds going somewhere else and getting paid, more power to you. God bless you. But he's going to have a shot to play here, and probably a really legitimate shot to start, and probably will be the starter if he lives up to all expectations.
5.
All righty, number 5. There was a little controversy surrounding the national championship game. There was a young lady who attends Miami
Young lady, listen to you. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That attends Miami, and there was some. I guess she is in certain types of films, and she's
either a former or is still a porn actress. Let's just call it what it is. She's
okay. I was going to say adult. Adult film.
There we go. That's classy. Adult film star.
And so really, I think nobody knew who she was when she was on there until one idiot who did put out, hey, parents are upset that this girl was on TV. And no, parents aren't. They got a shot of her during the game. No parents knew who she was. And even if they did, not that their kids would say, hey, mom, dad, this girl's, because she was she was at a game. She's fully clothed. So she has put out a statement saying, I would give anything in the world to not have had ESPN film me. I mean, yeah, she said, and then she went on to say she wants to just go to a game and support her team like any other student.
She doesn't mind being on camera in a movie with a bunch of whatevers, but she minds being on during a football game.
Well, like I said, I think it's just the fact that they've blown it out of proportion. Like, let the people who know she is goo-goo gaga over, and other than that, this problem, all these idiots trying to turn it into something that it's not, and now the poor girl's got to, poor girl, she chooses that stuff. Okay, you're right.
I know.
Trying to be nice.
Choice.
That's true.
I know. What's wrong with you?
I've never been this nice. I don't know what my feelings.
You really have. You seem nervous about this. Did you know who this woman was before?
Heck no, I didn't know who she was.
Don't lie, Pilk. All right.
No, I didn't.
David McKenzie is an attorney. We're going to talk to him about the situation with Duke suing Mensa and NIL, where all of this goes, what kind of legal precedent. He will join us next on the Patrick Johnson Show.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville. 2 real burgers, better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt & Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt & Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need. Come get you one.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Make every day electric on the Kawasaki Electro 20 electric balance bike. Maximize the fun with long run times, impressive top speed, and Kawasaki build quality. Easy adjustability and smooth handling make everyday riding more enjoyable. And the standard MTB type tires provide off-pavement capability. The Kawasaki Electro 20 is the electric balance bike that's built to rip. Go to Ron Ayers Motorsports, Memorial Drive north of the airport, Greenville.
Listen up. He's talking now.
Sorry, thought we were vibing.
The Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
All right, we talked about it the last day or two, and Duke University is suing their quarterback who entered the portal to go to Miami. And we have a guest on with us now, David McKenzie, who's a Raleigh area attorney, a Triangle attorney. He has been on the Adam Gold Show talking about this before, and on a pretty decent weather day outside. Not the warmest, but hey, warmer than it's going to be. David joins us here. How are you, buddy? Thanks for being with us.
I'm doing well. It's a little cold. Ironically, I'm joining you from the Duke Faculty Club in Durham, but I'm trying to weather this cold weather. Hope everything's going well down in eastern North Carolina.
Yeah, it's awesome to have you on here, and I've heard you with Adam before, and you do a great job. So we really appreciate you being with us live here on the show today. Hey, let me ask you this. Let's just kind of start with what it is that Duke has filed, what the suit is about, and where we are in kind of the process of it playing out right now, where, as far as the timeline of where we are.
Well, we're very much in the infancy of this case. It hasn't hardly moved from square one. This case is less than, I think, it's a little bit older than 24 years old, tops. And it was filed on Monday, a holiday, and then it went to a TRO yesterday in Durham County Tuesday. It was all resultant of Mensa's decision to enter the transfer portal at the last minute. So it's very early on. The trial court in Durham County is not going to decide the actual merits of the case. That will be up to an arbitrator. What the trial court can do in the interim is to enjoin the parties, and that's exactly what the parties are disputing over right now. And so Duke has filed a very narrow action in Durham County Superior Court to enjoin Mensa from going to another school, from playing for another school, enrolling with another school, and then also from appropriating his intellectual property, which is his name, image, and likeness. I mean, that's something that's been around for a long time. It's in intellectual property. We know it as right of publicity, for example, and that's how Elvis and his estate, even though Elvis is long dead, but is how his estate is able to monetize Elvis's image and trinkets and those kind of things. So, but to answer your principal question, it's very much in its infancy. There's a lot more to come.
How soon would the next step happen, as you say, an arbiter being involved in any way or any kind of court, deciding on the merits of this case? Obviously things move very slow, as you know, in the world of law. But, what is the next step? Could anything be sped up in any way to get a decision on this? I have to imagine that's what the Mensa camp and the Miami camp are probably thinking here.
Not really. The only thing that can happen in at least North Carolina courts is the injunctive relief to enjoin Mensa. It will otherwise go in order to adjudicate the rights underneath the underlying NIL contract. That's going to be decided in arbitration. And somebody who has practiced law in the state for decades now, I can tell you that is a very long process. It's not as formal as it is in Pitt County District or Superior Court, but it is is far more informal. But that will be decided by an arbiter or a panel of them. So it could be months to even years out. I've had arbitration cases go. So there's not going to be an immediate resolution. Now, obviously, the parties can do what they want to and can in order to speed up the process in arbitration. But in terms of the immediate things that the parties are going to resolve, that is Duke and Mensa, it's going to be, well, can you go to another school? Can you enter the transfer portal? Those kind of things. Now, I will note that Mensa has been Duke was unsuccessful about keeping him out of the transfer portal yesterday, but they were also successful in keeping him from enrolling in another institution or playing for another institution. Now, I would ask you, Patrick, I mean, what good does that do? If you cannot enroll in another school, the whole ability to enter the transfer portal, I mean, he's just radioactive at the current time until this cloud is lifted.
Darian Mintz case, he's been sued by Duke, and we've got David McKenzie with us, an attorney here. So, David, here, what exactly is Duke seeking here? Are they seeking to because as I understand it, and please correct me if I'm wrong or if I omit anything here, they're saying he signed a 2-year deal with them based on NIL, and that's
right.
He has that Duke believes he has the obligation contractually that he is on contract with them through the end of this calendar year. Is
that's correct?
Kind of the nuts and bolts.
Right.
Okay.
And that was,
is there any validity to that?
100%. That's totally valid. I mean, when you sign a contract to perform services for 2 years, you don't have to perform, but that doesn't mean you get paid under it if you're not going to perform. I mean, the thing that differentiates this from most contracts down in Greenville at ECU or anywhere else is that this was a 2-year deal. And it also differentiates itself in the amount of money at play. Duke has paid Mensa $4 million for completion of its services during year one. It was set to pay it $4 million next year for a total of $8 million. And so they signed Mensa under a contract as any prudent school would do, and the contract had screws to it. The contract said that if you leave prior to the end of this deal, then the aggregate damages is going to be spelled out basically in a liquidated damages provision for $4 million. And so Duke is trying to enforce that. They're not trying to keep Mensa from going. Well, let me put that backwards. You've heard of non-competes that happen all the time in North Carolina, where somebody agrees that to work for somebody for a period of time, and then after they're done, now they're going to get a little sticky about whether this is an employment contract. But bear with me. You agree to work for somebody for 3 years, and you leave early, and you have the trade secrets of that entity. Then you may be under a non-compete for a period of time, not to compete against your former employer. Now, questions of employment, employee arrangements aside, that happens all the time, and courts uphold that as long as the duration and scope is reasonable. What makes this more unique is that it's not an employment contract, it's rather an intellectual property agreement where Mensa has given his intellectual property, that is his right of publicity or his name, image, and likeness, to Duke University to exploit. That happens and it's fair game, and so you can't, as a matter of contract law, simply say midway through, because somebody is offering me more money, then I can renege on this contract. That's not how contract law works. Because there is a better deal somewhere else does not allow you to escape a contract. You got to have a valid contract defense.
The courts are very pro-player in a lot of these lawsuits, and that's kind of, in a way, why we are where we are right now with the NCAA. You know, and again, this could get protracted, but I mean, do you see the courts being sympathetic to the fact that it is not an employment contract, that there is freedom of movement allowed? That's the spirit of the portal and NIL and I guess the rules, if there are any, that the NCAA kind of allows the players to operate under now. Does that factor into any of this potentially?
I don't see the courts being favorable in this instance, and I don't think the courts should be. I think it would be terribly destabilizing to interstate commerce and then intrastate commerce to allow a contract simply because market conditions change elsewhere for you to be able to rescind that contract. It doesn't happen in life. It doesn't happen in any professional sport that I'm aware of. If you were to take Shaquan Barkley, and who's probably under a multi-year deal, who, if another school came along and simply added a few more millions to the pot, can he simply leave the Giants? No, contract law doesn't work that way. There would be some damages to pay back to the New York Giants. Now, would a court require him to play for the New York Giants? Just in the same way, the question is, would a court force Duke or force Mensa to play for Duke? The answer to that is, of course not. We have the 13th Amendment against involuntary servitude, so you can't do that. But the courts are willing to enforce the flip side of that same coin and say, you don't have to play for Duke, but that doesn't mean you can play anywhere else.
Interesting. That is very interesting. I've not heard that yet. That's great analysis and insight, and really interesting. Does Mensa have any countersuit opportunity here? Just kind of based on what you said there.
Well, I'll do it more based on my actual review of the contract that is between Duke and Mensa, which is a public record and is included as an exhibit to Duke's lawsuit in Durham County. I've reviewed it. I'm stretching my mind to understand what it is Duke could have done to incur a claim, whether it's in contract or tort. What I mean by tort is the typical wrong where you've harmed somebody like in an injury or hazing them or some other way. I'm unaware of that. So to answer your question, what does he have against Duke? At least on all appearances, not having all the benefits of what's going on, I would say nothing. And I'd be surprised if there was.
So, David, you mentioned you've read the entirety of the contract. Now, if I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, so correct me if I am, the one way he could originally have gotten out of this was he is draft eligible. So if he went to the NFL draft, there was no penalty for that. He would receive his first year's financial compensation, and then he would be on his way. If this gets really ugly, could he say, oh, now I'm going to the NFL draft and avoid any of these penalties?
Yeah, that's not my reading of the contract. I've seen other people read the contract that way. The way I read the contract is that Mensa has pledged his intellectual property to Duke University for a period of $2 million, for a period of 2 years for $8 million. If he chooses to go somewhere else, he's free to do that, but the intellectual property rights remain with Duke University. So if he were to go to Miami and score a deal $1 with Adidas or something like that, that belongs to Duke University because Duke University owns the rights and the royalties to it. The same analysis would apply to any deal to the NFL. So I don't read that clause so charitably. I could pull it up right now and read it to you, but I do not think that it's a matter of saying, hey, I just declare for the draft, Duke, you're stuck. That's not how, again, a contract for a term works. He agreed to work or to play for Duke University for 2 years, and it seems to me he should be obligated to do that, especially after earning already $4 million.
What about rev share? I mean, Miami, participates in that. All teams are participating in that. So I understand what you're saying about name, image, and likeness money, but would Mensa be entitled if he were to go to Miami to rev share, or would that money end up in Duke's coffers, so to speak?
Well, I don't think so, because rev share comes directly from the university, and so I think you're talking about two different kettles of fish. But one way that schools are able to fund rev share in some instances is by taking the NIL. Okay, so because rev share is just not automatically available in every instance, especially when you're paying somebody $4 million a year, which is almost 1/4 of the, well, it's actually exactly 1/5 of the revenue share cap.
David, what will this mean, do you think, for future agreements, under NIL and just agreements that people sign or create with universities to go play football or basketball there?
Well, I think that this is going to be a trailblazing case. I mean, Mensa was one of the highest paid players on record to score a deal like this. He was represented by attorneys. He had agents at his hands. He had financial advisors, I would assume, certainly at $4 million, $8 million in the aggregate. You would hope that would be the case. So I think that schools have got to decide whether or not they're serious about the contracts that they sign with their players. And players have got to decide whether they are serious about the contract that they sign. I would submit to you and the listeners of Eastern North Carolina that this is big game hunting. And when you're talking about paying and receiving $8 million, then the words that are on the black and white on the paper do matter. So I would think that if I were ECU, for example, and I was paying a player $4 million a year to come to play for the Pirates, then I would, as an institution, want to make it damn sure known that if you sign an agreement with ECU, that agreement means something, and you're not going to be able to flip on it simply because another school, or whatever, pays more. A contract is a contract, and it's valid and enforceable, especially when there's consideration was paid under it, and which is the case here. You don't want to be known as a soft target.
Right. I got you. Wow. This is good stuff. Really is. David McKenzie, Raleigh area attorney, with us here. Let me ask you this. Do you foresee any of this leading to the NCAA maybe intervening in any way and saying, look, and it's not directly related to the lawsuit, but just try to come up with standards that you have registered agents like they do in pro sports? Because, I mean, you have, I'm sure, bad actors and complete boneheads representing some of these college kids. right now because there's no set of standards. Is that an NCAA to step in and kind of oversee that? Is it per conference? I mean, what would you say is a possibility? Could that maybe roll out of any of this? Because, as you said, this could be a trailblazing case in a lot of ways.
Well, it's a little bit outside my subject area of expertise in the law, but I personally think that the NCAA is practically worthless, and nor could it actually enforce rules and laws related to agents, many of whom are taking advantage of a lot of the players. I think that it's going to probably fall on the Secretary of State to be able, which does regulate and enforce the laws governing lobbyists and agents and those kind of things. I think it's going to be on tougher local enforcement in order to make a difference. I gave up hope long ago that the NCAA could make a difference in this day and age, and I certainly don't see it making a difference in this Mensa case one bit. This is, right, the law has got to be the law in this instance. The contract has got to be interpreted by a court or an arbitrator to make sure that it effectuates the parties and that fairness is given to both sides. And so the NCAA coming in to do anything about that, I've lost all confidence in that as a layperson at least.
Sure, absolutely. Two more things for you here. Does Miami have any legal recourse in any of this?
Absolutely not. Miami is not a party to the Duke agreement with Mensa. Miami is just a potential landing spot for Mensa. I have stated elsewhere that Miami, we don't even know if Miami's involved. Duke doesn't allege that Miami is involved or that Mensa was going to Miami. Most of that is internet speculation. But to answer your question, Miami would not have any claim against Duke or Mensa at this point, unless there's some sort of Mensa Duke Miami deal that I'm unaware of. It seems that would be highly unlikely. The only thing Miami did was go out and try to get Alabama quarterback Ty Simpson. And they did so reportedly for $6.5 million a year to stay in college and not go to the NFL. Doing that, they basically announced the going rate for the top quarterback in all of college football, which of course Mensa was. But there's nothing illegal about doing that. It's certainly not interfering with the contract to announce that.
Right. Your answers are great because they're all dealt in, they're rooted in law and rooted in fact. And not speculation. But I am going to ask you to maybe forecast here. Does Mensa wind up staying at Duke for better or for worse? How does this sort of play out based on everything we've discussed here in the last few minutes, in your estimation?
In my estimation, I have no idea what's going on in Mensa's mind. And thankfully, I'm not in his shoes because I think that he's in a hard position, What I do see happening is what's already happening. The courts are going to interpret the contracts as the contracts are written and to effectuate the intent of the parties and to enjoin when necessary. Now, I don't see anything inherently unfair about the Duke Mensa deal. He was fairly compensated of it. Had he stayed, he would be fairly compensated under it again. In order for Duke to mitigate its risk, it took his NIL and is entitled to exploit it. So I'm not sure if I were to, at this very early stage, understanding that I don't have Mensa's side of the story, but all things portend to this not ending well for Mensa. Whether or not he'll return to the university, I don't know. Whether or not the university would encourage him to come back, I don't know. Maybe there'll be some kind of settlement where he buys his NIL money back, and he can go on to whatever school there may be. But the possibilities are endless in terms of that.
That's a great way to even discuss that. That could end up what happened. There could be a settlement in this, and he could buy his NIL rights back. God, that's crazy. It really is. Kind of cuts both ways a little bit on this one. David, awesome to have you on. I hope we can get you down the road on some stuff. It would be great to have you on as a contributor on some of this. I really appreciate your time.
Happy to do so. Hope things are well down in Greenville.
All right. Yeah, they are. We're enjoying life. All right. David McKenzie. How about that, Pilk? That was
wonderful. Yeah, I was glad to finally get somebody on to talk about this instead of just you and I sitting here not knowing what the heck we're talking about, speculating. So maybe I'm a little less mad at Miami now. I still think they can go kick rocks, and I'm still mad at Mensa. But regardless who he plays for next year, I still wish him the worst. for leaving
There is no
Blue Devils.
throwaway in that interview we just did because that was something I didn't even think of at the end.
Yeah, me either.
So here are the takeaways. Mensah could still go to Miami. He's just not going to earn any NIL money.
Yeah.
And so that part of this, the freedom of movement is allowable. The other part of this is because Mensah obviously seems to be motivated for this entire thing by money, as all the players are. They don't care where they're going now. Who pays the most? Where's the best financial deal? And that's fine. If those are the rules of the game, so be it. I think what he just said there at the end may ultimately be what happens. A hotshot Miami booster / Miami attorney works the deal out with Duke, and it could even be being worked on right now as we speak behind the scenes to buy out Mensah's rights, buy them back from Duke.
The issue is, though, that I have with that is Duke didn't have this money to spend in the portal. The portal's closed. There's nobody left. I mean, yet they could still sign somebody who's left. He still left Duke hanging out to dry last minute. Oh, no. They didn't go after a quarterback. He hosed a team he won an ACC championship for. They better not give him a dang ring because he doesn't deserve it because he's a money-crazy jerk. And if I keep talking, I'm going to get us FCC fined.
Well, what if he comes back?
No, I don't want him back. He can go kick rocks.
You might not want him back, but you know that Manny Diaz probably would take him back right now.
Yeah. I don't know.
We could talk to, this is the other thing, too. The only thing I would question there is, they're not employees. But
I know.
And are we going to start seeing, because I've thought this was going to happen all along. You're going to start to see performance perhaps connected to some of these NIL deals.
Yeah, incentives.
Incentives, yes. That's a great way to say that, yes. And look, that has been, it was very rare, but before everything went crazy, there was always this little lingering in the background. Your scholarship was year to year.
Yeah.
You could have it pulled for whatever reason. It didn't happen a whole lot.
Yeah, without you getting in real legal trouble, yeah.
Right, but it could happen. And it has happened. So, that's good stuff.
It was great, but now I'm just talking about it, I'm all mad again.
You are mad again.
Hey, I was being nice early in the episode, and now I'm not.
I know. You were all nervous about this porn star. Now you're fired up. It's the Pilk I know and love.
Yeah.
All right. We got more to come, so stay with us here. It is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game, online, 94.3thegame.com, and the IBX Media app.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
You have a choice when you invest in insurance, and when you choose First State Insurance Advisors, you're working with people you can trust. Clark Stallings has deep ties in the community. His team, including Keaton Smith, Regina Asby, Phil Leyva, Max Joyner Jr., Max Joyner III, and Ginger Smith, provides knowledgeable and professional advice. First State Insurance Advisors is an independent insurance agency. They offer all types of personal insurance as well as various types for business. Call or email First State Insurance Advisors today. We want to be your trusted choice agency.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service representative to find the option that best suits your needs.
In this age of globalization, we've learned that bigger isn't always better. Ever tried to get phone help from a big corporation from a real person? Right. That's what's so nice about Phelps Chevrolet. After more than 50 years serving our community, Phelps remains family-owned and operated. Mike, Daryl, Wave, West, Alan, and Clay deliver hometown service and integrity, same as always. They share your experience, they share your values, and they are ready to help with any motoring need.
Oh, hey, welcome back.
Oh, look who's back reporting for duty.
You got here just in time.
Holy nuts, man.
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Do it live. Do it live. Do it live. Do it live.
That's right. Doing it live today.
Everyone, a little breaking news for you.
Courtesy of Harold Varner III, ECU golf alum. New chapter, new energy. This was posted at the beginning of our show. For immediate release, January 21st, 2026. Are you ready, Pilk? Are you a little curious about this?
I am curious. I think we're talking about something other than football right now.
Yes. I am joining Smash GC for the 2026 season. After completing my contract with the Four Aces, I took time to reflect on where I am and what is best for my future in the game. I want to be clear that I was not looking to leave the Four Aces. Free agency gave me the opportunity to explore new teams and make a thoughtful decision about what comes next. With Brooks moving on and Taylor stepping into the captain role, I felt confident this was the right move for me. I believe this decision puts me in the best position for my future in golf. And I know my best golf is still ahead. It creates an environment where I can continue to push myself, grow, and compete at a high level. There's more, yada, yada, yada. So Harold Varner III, we just had our first ever live transaction. You thought he was going back to the tour, didn't you?
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
That's what you thought.
Everyone, a little breaking news for you.
No, he's going to Smash GC.
But let's just talk about what that means for him. This team, Patrick.
I haven't the clue. I haven't.
Well, what I'm saying is this. So this team, I don't know who all was free agents because I don't keep up with it that much. We'd have to ask them all. But this team lost Brooks Koepka. Who are they replacing him with? Harold Varner. So that shows you at least what they think of HV3. They just lost a top 10 player in the world. You got to replace him. You can't replace him with a schmuck.
Correct.
And they didn't get him a schmuck. They got him HV3. So
they didn't get him a schmuck. They got HV3.
It's the line of the year so far. Here, 21 days in, baby.
They didn't get him a schmuck. They got him HV3. Look, Harold Varner III, had Harold not gone to live, that stuff being built right now would never have happened out at Ironwood with ECU Golf.
True.
Never. I mean, it might have happened eventually, but there's a reason. Does that mean that it's dirty oil money? Is that what it is?
Ooh, uh-oh. I like where your head's at. We're starting something. You're starting this way too late in the show. PJ, way too late in the show. We could go on for 2 hours about this. You're starting with 10 minutes left. What are we doing?
Again, I'm just telling you this is a business decision. That's all this is business.
But
this country has several deals with the Saudis and several business deals, the government, the whole thing. So let's not get high and mighty on this whole thing.
No, it's not. But hey, look, it was a business decision. It was a business decision for all those guys. But do you know how many of them have admitted it's a business decision? There's only one.
Harold.
It's Harold.
Harold has.
Yeah.
Harold has for sure. Harold said this is about the money.
Yeah.
This is a money grab. And I respect Harold for that.
Yeah, and this when we had why am I drawing a blank on his name that comes
John
on
McKenzie?
No, we came on Henry's show during Big Rock. The guy Curtis Strange. Yeah, I don't know why I was blanking on that. He even said a few years ago when this was first starting, I know, that there was only one guy who went to live he respected. And it was Harold.
Harold Vernon III.
Because he was like, he came out and said, my kids are going to be set forever. My grandkids will be set forever. Why wouldn't I do it? It's like, well, okay. He was honest.
But he's also done other things with the.
Yeah, he has. He's not.
Back to his alma mater.
Yeah.
Doing things to grow the game of golf and get kids involved in playing through his foundation and all that. So.
Yeah.
All right. We'll come back. We'll set the table for tonight and tomorrow and really, for that matter, the rest of the week. Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game. And we'll be back to wrap things up right after these words.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color. And let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt & Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt & Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Daughtridge Gas and Oil has been your dependable propane supplier for 95 years. Their trained technicians can service and properly install all your propane and natural gas appliances. Plus, Daughtridge Gas and Oil is your backyard expert with fire pits, grills, smokers, and more, including quality outdoor furniture at their Greenville Patio and Hearth Shop at 1901 Charles Boulevard. Go by and see the knowledgeable staff at Daughtridge Gas and Oil for propane delivery or call 756-1345.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
Healthwise Pharmacy rounds the bases with all of your infusion, retail, compounding, and medical equipment needs. Locally owned and operated by pharmacist Marcy Parker, Healthwise has grown to be your most trusted provider for infusion services. Currently providing in-home or on-site infusions in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia. Visit Healthwise Pharmacy at 615B South Memorial Drive or call 252-295-0059 to speak to a patient service.
And now, the stunning conclusion. Why is everyone screaming? On 94.3 The Game.
All right. Again, we've got basketball coming tonight at 7:30. It'll be an airtime of 7 on 94.3 The Game and 107.9 WNCT and the ECU Sports Network. Men's basketball, they are moving the game to that was set for Saturday evening in Denton, Texas, to Friday afternoon at 1 Eastern. Pardon me. And so as a result of that, that means that we will have a Patrick Johnson show for you, which will be live on Friday afternoon.
Do it live!
I have TV obligations in the Triangle at 6 o'clock, so I will not be able to do the show. So Philip the Ref Pilkington will do the show. And he has ECU women's basketball head coach Kim McNeil scheduled for that day. So we'll talk to Coach Kim as they're coming off a win last night. And then the women are going to play Friday or Saturday, Pilk. Do we know?
They're playing Saturday. I think there's a rumor that it could be potentially they're possibly looking to move it up, but nothing's confirmed. Yeah.
All right. So that's the case there.
Do it live!
Tomorrow, show will be preempted, so we will have Logan Zone for you, and I will be back with you on Monday right here, and we'll be at Tiebreakers and all of that again, depending on what happens with the wintry weather, which right now, in case you missed this earlier, looks like it is going to be an ice event, primarily, at least as of right now, for our listening area and our frozen precip event, non-snow event. So that is concerning. Also, it was broken or made official this afternoon. Emory Williams is an ECU Pirate. All right. Great show today. Good stuff. I'll see you in the morning on Talk of the Town and then back there Friday, for Open Line Friday. Pilk, keep it between the lines on...
it's me and Grover. We'll see how it goes.
All right. There you go. Willie Grover. Gruber. You and Billy Gruber. Keep it between the lines. And as the late, great Mr. PK would say, don't take any wooden nickels. We'll see everybody later on. Take care.